Hey everyone, welcome back to Talkez English. I'm Mizu, and this is where we learn English that's simple, practical, and actually used in real life. Not textbook English, not exam English, real English, the kind people actually speak every day. If you're listening right now while walking, commuting, cooking, or just relaxing, you're in the right place. Lucas, let me start with a very simple question. How have you been lately? Why does Lunar New Year matter so much to people?
Honestly, pretty good. A bit busy, but in a good way. You know that feeling when you have a lot to do, but it feels meaningful? It's not about numbers. It's not about dates. It's about family.
When English learners talk to you, and I mean real conversations, not classrooms, is there one grammar topic they usually know but still feel nervous using when they speak?
Oh, without any doubt. 100%. It's the present perfect every single time.
And what's interesting is they're not beginners. Exactly.
They've studied it. They've seen it in books. They've watched videos about it. They know the structure. They can even explain it.
Right. They know have or has plus the past participle. They've practiced it again and again.
They've done exercises. They've filled in the blanks. They've chosen the correct answer.
But then something happens.
Yeah, the moment they start speaking, the moment English becomes real, they freeze.
You can actually see it.
They pause. They stop mid-sentence.
And inside their head, they're thinking, wait, should I use present perfect here or past simple? Am I making a mistake?
And that tiny moment of thinking breaks the whole flow of the conversation.
Exactly. Instead of communicating, they start calculating.
And that's exhausting.
And speaking of real conversations, let me ask you something.
All right, go ahead.
Very. Because real conversations don't wait for grammar decisions.
Right. People are listening. The moment is moving.
And then, to make it worse, they hear native speakers say things like, I've eaten, I've been there, I've finished my work.
And that's when the confusion really starts.
Yeah. They hear those sentences and think, okay, but when? When did you eat? When were you there? When did you finish?
They expect time.
Because that's how they were taught.
Exactly. They were taught that grammar is about time. Past means past, present means now.
So when English doesn't clearly say when, their brain panics.
They start asking questions like, is this about the past? Is this about the present? Why does English feel so unclear here?
And probably the biggest question of all, Why doesn't English just tell us when?
That's the real question.
Because deep down, learners feel like something is missing.
Yeah, they feel like the sentence is incomplete.
But what they don't realize yet is this. English isn't always trying to tell you when something happened.
Sometimes English cares more about why you're saying it now.
And that's the turning point.
Once learners understand that, the present perfect stops feeling mysterious
It stops being a rule,
and starts being a choice,
a human choice.
based on situation, based on feeling, based on meaning.
And that's why so many learners struggle, not because they're bad at grammar, but because grammar was explained without life,
Without context.
without real conversation.
So today, we're going to fix that,
Not by adding more rules.
but by changing how you think about English.
So today, we're not here to memorize rules. We're here to help you feel the present perfect, to understand why native speakers choose it and how it connects to real-life situations. By the end of this lesson, you won't be asking, what's the rule? You'll be asking, what's the situation?
That's how real English works.
Let's slow down and ask a real question. When someone says, I've finished my work, what do you think they really care about? The exact time it happened or something else?
Most learners think about time. They ask, was it today? Was it yesterday? But when I hear that sentence, I don't think about time at all.
Exactly. Native speakers don't use that sentence to tell a past story. They use it because the past action changes the present situation.
Now compare this. I finished my work. That sounds like information about the past. End of story.
But I've finished my work? Very different feeling. You're not telling when, you're telling what that means now.
Usually it means I'm free now. I'm done. I can relax. I can do something else.
And that's the key. Present perfect is not really about time. It's about connection, past action into present situation. So instead of asking, when did it happen, ask, why are you telling me this now? Let's try something. Lucas, don't think about grammar, just feelings. If you say, I went to Japan, what mode are you in?
Story mode.
And as a listener, what do you expect?
Details. When I went, who I went with, what I did. And the trip feels finished.
Right. The past is closed. Now listen to this. I've been to Japan. Different feeling.
Yeah, now you're not telling a story. You're sharing experience.
And that experience matters now. It tells me something about you today. So the difference isn't time words, it's feeling. Past simple, finished story. Present perfect, relevant experience.
Let me ask you something, and don't think about grammar. Just listen with a question. Have you ever tried sushi?
Of course.
Okay, notice something important right away. I didn't ask when you tried it.
Exactly. Because you don't care about the date, you don't care about the year, you don't even care if it was a long time ago.
Right. I'm not asking for a story. I'm not opening a timeline.
You're just asking if it's part of my life experience.
Exactly. I want to know something about you now.
Whether sushi exists in my world, whether I understand it, whether I have experience with it.
And if you say yes, the conversation can move forward naturally.
Maybe you'll ask what kind I like. Maybe we'll talk about food. Maybe we'll laugh.
But none of that needs a time.
Because time is not the point.
Experience is.
That's why present perfect feels so natural here.
Let's try another one. Have you ever worked late?
Oh, many times. More times than I want to admit.
And again, notice something. I still didn't ask when.
No date. No specific moment.
Because I'm not interested in one night.
You're interested in whether this experience exists in my life.
Exactly. It tells me something about your work life, your habits, your reality.
And once again, this question creates connection,
It opens conversation.
not a history lesson.
Now let's go a little deeper.
Yeah, let's make it personal. Have you ever felt nervous speaking English?
Definitely. Especially at the beginning.
And noticed something important. I didn't ask when you felt nervous.
Because the timing doesn't matter.
What matters is the experience.
That feeling still lives in me.
And that's why this question feels human.
It's not about checking grammar.
It's about understanding someone now.
Their feelings, their past experiences, their emotional journey.
That's why we often use have you ever when we want to connect with people,
When we want to understand them.
when we want to relate,
Travel, food, work, relationships, mistakes.
especially mistakes.
Because mistakes shape who we are now.
So remember this feeling. When you hear have you ever, don't think about grammar rules.
Think about connection.
Think about shared human experience.
Think about learning something real about someone.
That's why we use present perfect here,
Not to talk about the past.
but to connect in the present. Let's pause for a second and do a quick clarity moment, because this part, for and since, confuses a lot of English learners.
Yeah, probably more than it should.
And the confusion usually starts here. Learners see a sentence with for or since and immediately think, oh, this must be present perfect.
Right, but that's not how English works.
So let's say this very clearly. Just because a sentence has for or since does not automatically mean you need the present perfect tense.
Exactly. Those words don't create the tense.
They don't control the grammar.
The verb does.
Always.
For and since are just helpers.
They give extra information about time, but they don't decide the tense. Let's look at a natural example. I've lived here for 5 years. Now, what does for tell us here?
It tells us the duration, 5 years.
Exactly. It answers the question, how long?
But for doesn't tell us the tense.
The tense comes from the verb.
Have lived.
And what's the feeling of that sentence?
The action started in the past.
And it's still true now.
You're still living there.
That's why present perfect makes sense here.
Now let's look at since. I've known her since college.
What does since tell us?
It tells us the starting point.
Not the duration.
Right. It answers the question, when did it start?
College. And again, what's the feeling?
The connection still exists.
You knew her in the past,
And you still know her now. That connection is alive.
so let's slow this down and simplify it.
Yeah, really simple.
For is used when you want to talk about how long something continues.
Duration.
Since is used when you want to talk about when something started.
Starting point.
That's it.
No magic.
No hidden rules.
No confusion.
What here's the most important part. The real question is never, is there for or since in the sentence?
The real question is
Is this still true now?
if the answer is yes,
Then present perfect usually makes sense.
if the answer is no,
Then maybe past simple is better.
and once you start asking that question,
Grammar becomes logical,
not scary,
not confusing.
just human.